The VA rated him 30% for 11 years, 30% while he lost his job, then the next job, then his truck, and very nearly his house. And the whole time, buried in his own claims file, there was one sentence written by the VA's own doctor that meant they owed him full 100% pay. Nobody told him. And understand this about the system. Nobody has to tell him. That sentence sat in a government file for 8 years while he stocked shelves in pain, got fired for missing shifts, and blamed himself for all of it. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what that sentence said. You will know the rule that turned it into a check for more than $240,000. And you will know how to find out if the same sentence is sitting in your file right now. I'm Roy Calloway. I spent 15 years inside the VA as a claims rater. My job was reading files like yours and deciding what you got paid, so I'm not guessing about how this happened. I'm telling you from the inside. And the ground rules on this channel are simple. I am not selling you anything. No course, no consulting fee, and nobody gets a cut of your back pay. Everything in this video a veteran can do for free, and at the end I'll tell you exactly how. The veteran in this story, I'll call him Dale, not his real name, and I've changed the personal details, but the mechanics of his case are exactly how it happens. I watched cases like his cross my desk for 15 years. Dale joined the Army at 19, wheeled vehicle mechanic, 2 deployments to Iraq, back to back, on the convoys and recovery missions, dragging burned-out trucks off the road. He came home in 2012 and seemed fine for about a year. Then the sleep went, 3 hours a night, crowds made his heart hammer. He checked the door locks 5, 6 times. His wife pushed him to file, and in 2015, the VA granted service connection for post-traumatic stress disorder, rated at 30%. Let me translate 30% into real life. A single veteran at 30% today gets about $550 a month. That's real money, and Dale was grateful. But it's grocery money. It does not replace your income money. So Dale worked. Warehouse jobs, forklift, loading docks, and year after year, his file quietly filled up with proof that he couldn't do it anymore. Panic attacks on the floor, missed shifts after the bad nights, written up, then fired. Another warehouse, 8 months, fired again. By 2018, he had lost 4 jobs in 3 years. So in June of 2018, Dale filed for an increase. And what happened next is the reason this video exists. The VA sent him to a CNP exam, compensation and pension. That's the VA's own doctor hired by the VA examining you for the VA. And remember this because it's the engine of the whole story. Everything that doctor writes becomes evidence in your file. Dale sat with a VA psychologist for an hour and told the truth. The panic attacks, the 4 lost jobs, and that doctor typed a sentence I want you to hear word for word because sentences like this are worth more than most people's houses. Quote, the veteran is unable to obtain and maintain substantially gainful employment as a result of his service-connected PTSD, end quote. Substantially gainful employment is the legal phrase for a real job, one that pays above the federal poverty line, held steadily. The VA's own doctor had just written that Dale could not hold a real job. Put a pin in that sentence. It is the most expensive sentence in this story. A few months later, the big white envelope arrives. Dale opens it at the kitchen table. Decision, increase denied. Continued at 30%. How does that happen? I'll tell you because I sat in that chair. Raters work under a production quota, a number of cases to clear every single day, and I lived under it. Mental health ratings are decided by matching symptoms to checklists, and a rater moving fast can grab the friendly phrases in that exam, cooperative, dressed appropriately, and match them to the lower box. The sentence about employment gets treated like background noise. That's not me excusing it. That's me explaining the machine. But here's what should actually make you angry. Under the VA's own rules, that sentence was not background noise. It legally raised a separate benefit, something called TDIU, and the rater was required, not encouraged, required, to decide it. Dale's decision letter never mentioned it, not one word. Dale read the word denied and did what most veterans do. He believed the government, he figured the problem was him. He never appealed, and the 1-year appeal window quietly closed. Most people would tell you that's game over. It is not, because the benefit the rater skipped stayed legally alive, sitting in that file like a live wire for 8 years, waiting for somebody to grab it. Stay with me, because the next part is where the $250,000 comes from. Let me teach you the benefit itself, the most underused one in VA disability. TDIU, total disability based on individual unemployability. Regulation 38 CFR 4.16. Write that down. Here's the plain English version. Ratings measure, on average, how much earning power a condition takes from you, but averages lie about individuals. Two veterans can both have 70% PTSD, and one manages a bank while the other can't get through a Tuesday. So the law built a safety valve. TDIU says if your service-connected conditions actually prevent you from holding substantially gainful employment, the VA pays you at the 100% rate, even if your rating math never reaches 100, the basic gate. One condition rated at least 60%, or a combined 70 with one condition at least 40. And below those numbers, there's a harder second door called extraschedular TDIU, but it's real, and nobody volunteers either one. The money difference is not subtle. 30% is about $550 a month. The 100% rate is about $3,900 more with a spouse and kids per month. For life. Tax-free. Back to Dale. Spring of 2025, 7 years at 30% since the denial. He's given up on warehouses, his wife carries the insurance, and he's stopped mentioning the VA. Then at a veteran breakfast, a total stranger says 5 words that change his family's net worth. You should look into TDIU. 10 years in the system, 4 lost jobs, a doctor's note saying he can't work, and Dale had never heard the term. If you take one thing from this channel, take that. The system is not built to volunteer. Dale files, and this time he files the actual TDIU form, VA Form 218940, listing every lost job. New exam, same finding. Early 2026, the decision comes back. PTSD 70%, TDIU granted. He's now paid at the 100% rate, about $4,000 a month with dependents. Happy ending, right? Look at the effective date on the letter, 2025, the date he filed. And that date is where the VA was quietly keeping $250,000. Effective dates are where the real money in VA claims lives. The general rule is that benefits start from the date the VA received the claim. So the VA said you asked for TDIU in 2025, your money starts in 2025. Sounds almost fair, until you remember the PIN in that 2018 sentence. In 2009, the Veterans Court decided a case called Rice versus Shinseki, and it says a request for TDIU is not a separate claim. When the evidence in your file shows you cannot work, TDIU is automatically part of the claim you already filed. You don't have to say the magic word. The evidence raises it for you, and once it's raised, the VA is required to decide it. Now follow the chain. Dale filed an increase in June 2018. The VA's own examiner wrote he was unemployable. Under Rice, that made TDIU part of the 2018 claim automatically. The VA never decided it, and a claim the VA never decides does not expire. You can't miss the appeal window on a decision that was never made. That piece of his 2018 claim had been sitting there, legally open, for 8 years. Dale's County VSO, a free accredited rep, saw it in 20 minutes. She pointed at the 2018 exam and at Rice and demanded the correct date. The VA fought, then conceded. New effective date, June 2018. Now watch the counter. The difference between 30% pay and the 100% rate with a wife and daughter on the award is roughly $2,700 a month. June 2018 to early 2026 is over 90 months. $243,000 paid as one lump sum to a man who spent 7 years believing the government had decided he was fine. He paid off the house. That's the whole glamorous ending. He paid off the house and slept. And to be fair, the raider who denied him wasn't a villain, just 3 cases behind quota on the 12th exam of the day. I have been that person. The VA is not a predator, but it is not your advocate either. It's a machine that pays exactly what the file forces it to pay. Your job is to make the file undeniable. So here's your know what you're owed rundown. 1. If your service-connected conditions keep you from steady work, TDIU exists. Ask for it by name and file. VA Form 218940. 2. Request your claims file, your C file, it's free, and read your own C&P exams, because sentences about your ability to work are money sentences.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
3. When you win, check the effective date before you celebrate. If TDIU was raised years ago and never decided, that door may still be open. 4. Never pay a consultant 5 or 10 grand out of your back pay. Accredited VSOs and county service officers are free, and anyone selling you a secret is selling you your own file. The VA is not going to knock on your door and hand you that check. It's been 11 years for some of you. Go read your file. I'm Roy Calloway. Know what you're owed before you file.